Are you really looking forward to fun, high octane, really exciting matches?
I know I am.
I am too. And we're about to bring you a game out of Group Y. Game number 3 between sab0tender and Tso15. Hey, all friends, I'm Adirondack Rick, being joined by Slim Kirby for this match.
Hey, Rick, how are things going?
Well, I guess it's going fine.
Well, that's good. That's good, because, we have a Game 3 here, and that's pretty intense. That's pretty hype, so, things are going to start heating up here very soon.
I think it's going to start heating up real soon for this group.
Yes, that is definitely a true case there. Got a very competitive group here in Group Y. Not only do we have two excellent runners here tonight, but, both of these runners will have to face a pretty tough opponent when they do their next match as well. We got a very competitive group here.
Yeah, I'm going to have you talk about this real fast while I take care of a couple of things in the back end. Here we go. Game 3 about to begin.
All right, let's do it. So we are getting ready to start here. As usual for these seats, we are doing a standard mode start, so we do have to go through all of the escape first. Going to check the first chest in Link's house. Just 10 arrows. Not going to really be needing those right now. We don't even know if we're going to get a bow yet, so we'll have to find that out later.
Well, that's a really unhealthy uncle. We also got ourselves a map check.
Seems like we have a crystal, a red crystal, and a pendant for our dungeon layout here.
Here we go. sab0tender first in because he didn't do the map check. And Tso gets in there as well. We get ourselves the hammer for the very beginning of this seed, so we're going to be able to kill everything that's in our way. No worry about ammo here.
Yeah, that is correct. And hammer, I think, is probably one of the best items to get because you don't have to worry about ammo, as you said. You don't have to worry about magic. You can just make your way through the castle, kill those enemies, check out those prize packs, see if you can maybe get some bombs along the way. But everything will be going down pretty quickly. Hammer does tempered sword damage, so nothing here is going to be really much of a challenge for us.
There is one little challenge that does come by way of the hammer, and that is its tiny hitbox, but that is something that you can get used to the more that you go ahead and play. Have we really discovered what is our prize pack that we're dealing with the guards?
I couldn't quite tell from what we've destroyed so far, so...
Never mind.
Well, we're not going to be checking any more prize packs. We actually found some bombs in the first chest in the castle.
You want a solid way to get a fast escape, then get yourself some bombs and get yourself some rupees, and you don't have to worry about drops for the remainder of this escape sequence. Obviously, you would love to have another bomb, so that way you can walk into Kakariko Village with 3, but you have a pretty decent chance of finding some bombs as we move along here.
Yeah, definitely. Literally, the only thing that would speed up our escape even more is if we run into the boots or even the mirror. But we do find the Book of Medora. That's going to be a very interesting item to find early, because with that book, we can see what's on the pedestal. So while we're going through the forest at the very beginning, if they decide to make that route, we can actually see what's on the pedestal early if they choose to go that route.
I don't even want to talk about that pedestal because there's way too many items that could still be on there, and we haven't done any sort of map check just yet. We see a blue rupee falling from one of the guards. That's a pretty solid run here for both of these runners. sab0tender did not take a hit. Tso did take a hit as we get the key out of the chest right next to Zelda. And up the stairs we go. Probably with these bombs in hand, you can probably factor in these runners will get somewhere in that 5:45 to 6 minute range here for this escape sequence.
Yep, haven't found the boots. Didn't get the mirror early on here, so yeah, they're going to need to do quite a bit of walking back, but shouldn't take us too long. Have a nice little route we can travel here up of the ledge so we can ignore all the guards on the way back. And just got to go through the front, go to that hidden passage and get through these sewers.
sab0tender opted to go the longer way around, and that has resulted in this being a synced round out of here. And don't forget, Tso took a look at the map, whereas sab0tender has no knowledge of what the map looks like here in this light world.
Yeah, that's true. Just those, tiny little things, those tiny little optimizations, they can honestly add up over time when you really think about it.
So Tso, the first one by a few frames to go up into the second floor. sab0tender right back in tow. The way this series has worked out, sab0tender claimed game number 1 between these two. That Tso stormed back with a solid victory in game number 2 to set up this in game number 3. And it won't get any easier for either of these competitors, because what's waiting on the other side of this here, Slim?
Well, if you happen to take a victory in this match, you will be up against not returning champion, but former champion Andy in the next match. An opponent that sab0tender actually knows quite well. Actually fought him in the previous tournament and managed to get a victory on him. But Andy, as we all know, he's played Link to the Past and Link to the Past Randomizer for a very long time. He knows what he's doing. He is going to be a very tough competitor to face in this group stage.
And for the person who doesn't win this match,
they will be going up against 1UP, who is another very solid runner as well. Been in a lot of these main tournaments, put up a hell of a fight. And
oh no. Tso has fast beeps on.
Oh no.
Thank you to the devs who indulged us with fast beeps. Thank you so much. Anyways, yeah, this is Group Y. Andy, 1UP, sab0tender, Tso. This is the group that you saw when Dante showed up all those names last week and went, oh my goodness, this is a group to watch.
It really is. It is seriously one of the most competitive groups, I'd say. Only because everyone in this group has had major success in these tournaments in the past. You've seen them go on runs. You've seen them gotten a lot of different victories. So, anyone here can compete, and they can compete hard.
Yeah, you mentioned the 2019 tournament where sab0tender ended up knocking out Andy in the round of 64, the first round of the brackets. Mm-hmm. And now you might be facing off of those two for the right to go to brackets.
That is very true. I do have a very small divergence here. Tso going up to check the lumberjack tree. sab0tender going straight to the Lost Woods. We do see a red rupee in the woods. Going to jump down to see what's in the hideout. As for the lumberjack, looks like we got just some bombs. So we're not going to be beating Ganon for those bombs. I'd hope anyway.
I'd like to think we weren't.
So yeah, sab0tender going to leave that lumberjack check kind of on hold for now, potentially waiting till later when he gets the boots, kind of make that trip up there a little bit faster. And you'd also have the liberty of knowing if you need the boots for that item as well. So just going to put that on hold for now.
So sab0tender making his way through the Kakariko village. We get ourselves a heart container, 20 rupees, the moon pearl. We have dark world access in Kakariko village. And we've got a ped check coming up. Oh my goodness. We have a ped seat, everybody. We got the boing, boing, boing. The hook shot is on the pedestal.
That's right, and you know that hook shot, it's an item that's logically required in every single seed because of that gap we have to cross on Moldorm 2 at the very end of the game.
And with that, we also do know that Swamp Palace is going to be a crystal. That's a guarantee because of the fact that you need the
that's
hook shot
right.
to beat Swamp Palace.
Yep, that is true. That is very true. So yes, we have a pedestal seed here, folks.
I think it's fate that you and I are on commentary when we have ped seeds.
Yeah, I know, right?
Remember that Key Sanity tournament where we had to join the Quiver class there, the Archer's class. Anyways, we did see the Cane of Samaria inside of the well. There's the bow. Speaking of the Archer class.
Yeah, speaking of the Archer class, Sabo is now a member of it.
So yeah, for those of you maybe making some comments about maybe doing some Moldorm bounces, which we saw already in this first round of this tournament, that's not going to happen. It's guaranteed that Swamp Palace will be a crystal. Guaranteed, 100%. And maybe Ice Palace, but that, of course, depends on how the key logic's going to work out.
Yeah, this is true. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see, like, especially since sab0tender doesn't have that knowledge quite yet, how the kind of divergence is going to be moving forward in this seed. Having that information that hookshot is on pedestal, that could affect Tso's routing. But as we can see,
sab0tender's going. Yep,
sab0tender is going to make that same check, so he is going to have the same information.
He's doing this at the risk of what's going on over. Oh wait, no, not necessarily. No, because he's got the hammer and the glove and the moon pearl. This is the Dark World.
Oh boy. Okay, so I guess never mind. We're not getting that pet check.
And there's guaranteed right there that Crystal is over there at Swamp. Also guaranteed, or we now know that the Ice Palace is a crystal as well. What was our other two pendants?
If I saw this correctly, I think that was a Turtle Rock pendant and Thieves Town.
Well, that means that we're not going to be getting an ice rod for Go Mode this time around, at least.
No, we will not. Now, it's looking like, I mean, in a way, it could end up being our Go Mode when you think about it.
Actually, you know what?
What?
That means we're going to have to find the mirror at some point in time, relatively, maybe in the middle of this logic, because of the fact that the only way to get to Turtle Rock at this point would be by way of the mirror plus the hammer.
That is correct.
So sab0tenders inside of the Skull Woods cannot beat this dungeon because we do not have the Fire Rod, but we have seen several races here at this group stage already where the Fire Rod, or the item that leads you towards the Fire Rod, was here in Skull Woods. So this is a check here that sab0tender is going to go ahead and check, and if it does turn out to be something nice here, then maybe he can gain an advantage. However, Tso is taking that bow and is going to head on over towards the Eastern Palace area.
Yeah, I do kind of like kind of the information that Tso actually has right now, because, you know, knowing that you are going to be essentially clearing every dungeon, you're basically going to be looking at like every dungeon as a, well, okay, I'm going to need to beat this no matter what. So he's, you know, going over to Eastern Palace. He's going to clear not only the area around it, but Eastern Palace itself. He's going to just mark this area off of his checklist and won't have to worry about coming back here again. Won't have to worry about, oh, should I do a partial dip of this dungeon or a full dip? So, you know, you're going to be completing every dungeon, so you may as well just full clear things as you're going through and collecting every item you need.
And Tso showing off that he's not even afraid of having to deal with any dark rooms inside this Eastern Palace. We've got a lot of hearts already, too. We're up to 7 hearts right now for Tso. And the same for sab0tender. Well, we see a death here from sab0tender. However, I don't know if you... it looks like he did open up that chest. We don't know what's in it. We'll have to figure that one out at some point.
Yeah, at that point, I'm sure he made it through that room, got the item, and then took a death warp to get back to the start very quickly, and just refill his hearts as well.
Yeah, because there's a lot of things that can hurt you really fast, like for instance, that enemy right there. Tso now inside of the Eastern Palace, 3 items inside of here. sab0tender might make the play to do some Thieves Town. However, with the pendant, he may not actually go in there right now because of the fact that he doesn't know that the pedestal is required. And we find 20 rupees inside of the sea house. Now, why did we find a green 20?
Well, we found a green 20 because we are actually playing with the hard item pool settings, which basically means all the items that you normally expect to find in a randomized game. You know, they're all randomized as they are normally, but there are some limitations to what you'll actually receive. For example, the mail upgrades, you will not actually find any of them in the hard item pool. So when you see a green 20, that green 20 can essentially be what would have been an mail upgrade if you did actually play on normal settings. But since we're playing on hard, we're just getting 20 rupees and no mail upgrade.
Yeah, that's right. That could have very well been one of our mail upgrades. Could have been the silver up arrow since we found the bow in Kakariko Village. We do see Tso getting the piece of heart out of the big chest and a piece of heart for sab0tender as well. And I'm going to assume for sab0tender, because of the fact that he does not know that this is a ped seed, is just going to go do the first 4 out of this Thieves Town.
Yeah, unfortunately, he does not have that information that we have. So, you know, I would honestly be kind of pressed to do the same kind of thing. Just get these first 4, see if you can maybe find something. And if not, well, it's a pendant. I may as well just, you know, leave it until later, when in reality, we know that we want to get all this stuff now.
Oh, sab0tender found the mirror. He must have gotten that instead of Skull Woods in the big chest.
Oh, okay. Makes me, if that is where he found it, makes me kind of wish he would have checked the pedestal then. But oh well.
No fire rod, no reason to check at this point in his eyes.
I know.
I know you'd like to get that same information for sab0tender. He ends up doing the death warp back to start, and bombs right there inside of the brewery as Tso. I did, by the way, like how Tso did in that dark room that has the staffos and the pots that you have to get the key out of. I like the fact that he used the bow and arrow to see where those pots were, so that way he could align himself. This is another room where you want to use the bow and arrow, because now you get the Igor, but the arrow stuck to it. You can see when it starts to move, just like that. Now he's going to want to be careful because that other Igor is active, and he can make life really, really bad, and sometimes that one little jar can be nasty to grab, but he has a perfect job doing that. He is out. And now we're making our way to the Armos Knights.
Meanwhile, sab0tender going around the Dark World, checking some of these Overworld locations. Right now, I feel like if you're, rooting for sab0tender in this one, you almost kind of want him to find a sword. You want him to find the fire rod, because that will at least put him on the track of thinking about Skull Woods. And then, like we said earlier, he can use the mirror at that point and find out that pedestal knowledge as soon as possible. That's kind of what he needs to do to kind of at least get kind of more on the right track, I guess.
All right, here we go. Tso against the Armos Knights for crystal number 1. Has them perfectly set up. There we go. Nicely done. And we get ourselves another green 20.
Yep, so again, could be a mail upgrade. Could be those silvers that we won't get. Could also be like some... I believe some heart containers and some heart pieces were removed from the pool as well. So,
yeah. And I don't think we're really going to be getting much of the heart containers turned into 20s at this stage. sab0tender chest turns his way to a sword at the back of the hype cave. That's a good sword to have. Now, where is that fire rod?
That is a good question. We are going to be going south here with the mirror in hand. sab0tender is going to be able to kind of take these southern Dark World checks.
Oh my goodness, yeah. We haven't even gotten to South Shore yet.
And yeah, we can get these South Shore Light World checks as well.
I didn't even realize we have yet to go to South Shore at this stage. But yeah, that sword right there is what Tso is going to be getting in just a moment. Throws the bomb on over, gets one of the Moldorms on the left side, gets the one on the right hand side, and now gets the other one that's on the left. There we go. That's good. 5 rupees. Piece of heart. 20 from the NPC, and then we get another 20, and then over on the right hand side, a piece of heart. So yeah.
A healthy and wealthy cave, but not nothing with any real progression at the time being.
So it looks like sab0tender. Well, I think he was thinking of something, but I think he actually wants to check the Bombos tablet while he's making a way in this general direction to find out what he needs if he can get another sword in his arsenal. But Tso is taking that bow and hammer over towards the Palace of Darkness and also going to be checking the pyramid.
Looks like sab0tender going to be checking the dam right now. Will does find an ether medallion, so that's something. We'll not be able to actually check swamp yet. We do not have the flippers, so can't make a dip in there, and we know that he won't be able to finish it even if he could. So this is just going to be for the dam, as he's going to be moving on after that.
And we just see a piece of heart underneath the water, and we see a heart container over here on the pyramid ledge. Tso is going to go ahead and take a few seconds to grab that. And that's our sanctuary heart, so that's going to be a guaranteed heart container for sab0tender, because when this game in the heart item pool kind of takes in consideration the 14 hearts, the sanctuary heart is its lone heart. A lonely arrow sits here. That is the single arrow, and we know sab0tender is not going to have any interest of grabbing that when he gets another sword. I think that's the first time I've actually seen that text.
I want to say this too, yeah, for me as well.
sab0tender getting a piece of heart out of the Against cave here is making his way over towards desert. Now, of course, desert being a pendant, how much does he want to put into investment of here? We also will find out the answer of whether or not the boots are going to be required for the seed.
Yeah, and there's also the added stipulation of not really having a fire source, so even if we do manage to get that big key, we won't be able to finish this dungeon anyway.
Yes, you're right, because we don't have the lamp or we don't have the fire rod, so therefore we really don't have a way to finish off this dungeon at this stage. But of course, I know you would like to see the fire rod show up at some point in time in this path. We get a small key inside of the first chest here in the Palace of Darkness. This is where sab0tender will have a little bit of an advantage over Tso, is the fact that with that mirror, he's going to be able to double up Eastern and Palace of Darkness together.
That's true, and depending on how Tso routes this, well, there's the big key on the torch. We will need those boots. Depending on how Tso routes the kind of his Dark World checks, you know, he may have to kind of double back at some points if he doesn't get the mirror right away. And Sabo's kind of been working through the seed.
Sword upgrade. That's a nice one.
That is a nice one. And with that, we know that we can't get any more items from here. The small cheat key is going to be in the big chest. So sab0tender is leaving and going back to Link's house.
Yeah, I have a feeling he is now going to be doing the Eastern and the Palace of Darkness combo, or he is not doing that combo, and he's just going to walk on over here. Oh, he could be going into portal number 5 for that.
Yes, that is more than likely what he's doing at this point.
So we have seen nothing but small keys so far in this Palace of Darkness. It's the way the first 6 checks end up going. Guaranteed to find 4 small keys in those first 6 checks. So sab0tender is going to be making his way on over here. Probably will opt to do Eastern Palace first of the 2 dungeons, but have Kiki open up the door so that he can do Palace of Darkness right afterwards. So this now begs the question, where are the boots? Where is the fire source?
Where's anything?
There's the Titan's mitts.
Okay, well, we found those. That's a good item to find. We will need that to beat the seed as well.
So the big key and the Tinesmith are over here in the Palace of Darkness. Now that Tinesmith at this point does not open up anything new to us, with the exception of a couple of Dark World checks. The Redsmiths, Hammer Pegs, and the Purple Chest being those at this point.
Yeah, that's true. All the other major progression involving those myths will be at least blocked behind another item at this point.
Yeah, we don't have a flute, so we can't consider the Misery Mire area. We don't have the Bombos or the Fire Rod, plus the Flippers to even talk about the Ice Palace play at this point. There's the mirror from sab0tender after opening up the gate, and here goes his play of Eastern Palace. Tiny shield on the bottom of the dark maze for Tso. That's item number 2 of this dungeon.
I'm doing a very fine job of navigating through the dark room here.
So we know now that anything that is not a key is going to be the remaining 3 items to this dungeon. Then it also includes an item on Helmusar King.
And of course, to get to that Helmusar King item, we'll have to take a pretty dangerous trip through another dark room where you have to destroy 6 of those Terrapin enemies.
Those Terrapins, when you only have 6 hearts right at this moment, yeah. It can get very, very treacherous. There's another small key right there, so that means we do want to go through Hammer's Highway. We do find the Ice Rod. And Tso knows that Ice Rod is required. sab0tender does not. And we welcome those of you who are tuning in from SpeedGaming 3. Welcome to game number 3 of this match between sab0tender and Tso15. Group Y, which turned out to be one of the super groups of this first section of the Link to the Past Randomizer Tournament. Actually, technically the second section of this tournament, because the winner, they get Andy. The one who doesn't win this match gets 1-up, and those are 2 really vicious opponents to have to deal with.
Yeah, definitely. Even their series in that first round went to a game 3 as well. So, you know, everyone here is fighting. Everyone is fighting hard for getting those top 2 spots in this group. And
for those of you who are just tuning into this match, we know that this is a pedestal seed. Tso checked with his book, found the text, boing, boing, boing. It's the hook shot that's on the pedestal. sab0tender does not know that knowledge right now, though.
He does not know that knowledge, but, you know, does have the mirror and does have a sword advantage on Tso at this current point in time. So we'll be able to make it through these dungeons definitely a bit quicker than what Tso has been able to.
Tso does with this room here. He's in the Terrapin room right now, using the Quake. He's got 4 of them. Now trying to get himself continued to at least take care of them at this point. Using the sword spins to help try to just continue to do some damage onto them. But he's going to still need to be careful, because when they are running at him, they're draining his health really fast. Down to 3. 2 hearts remain. He does have the blue potion. Do not lose that blue potion. Okay, good. We used that blue potion before we took the death.
I think he still only has 3 of them down, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, there's another one.
Yep. And he's got the 1 more, I think. Just trying to locate where it is. Oh, he's got
2.
Down to 4 hearts. And he's got the Helmusar fight still to go. That is 1 more remains. It's down there in the bottom right corner. There it is. Gets a heart refund. 5 hearts remain, but he's still got to go through the bridge to the Helmusar King, where 4 of those Terrapins remain. There we go. He's through there.
And as he enters the fight with Halmasar King, sab0tender will be entering the fight against the Armos Knights.
Oh, Tso's getting banged up here. Lost 2 hearts there. And Halmasar King does 2 hearts of damage, so you don't really want to lose the control of this fight right here.
I'm just going to want to pay very close attention to his movements.
It's getting lucky right now, the fact that the main attack was by way of getting the tail to move. And there it is. That's good. Tso is through.
Nice.
Crystal number 2 for Tso. Crystal number 1 for sab0tender. Fire Rod is on the Halmasar King.
That is quite the find here. sab0tender is gonna... Well, he's not gonna know that that's gonna be really good for him to find, but that is good. That could put him back on the track to at least finish up Skull Woods and get that pedestal knowledge before too long.
The pedestal knowledge is the most important part, because then he will go to Thieves Town, finish that dungeon off. He will know that when he gets done with when he gets the boots, he's going to need to go to Desert Palace and get that taken care of. And we also, by the way, because of those mitts, could have access to that great dungeon called Turtle Rock.
That's right. We have the items required to beat Turtle Rock. Don't have the logical access to it just yet, but at this point, our runners are more than willing and capable of going through that first dark room on Death Mountain. So that's going to be no problem for them.
Yeah, getting through the dark climb is not going to be much of an issue for these runners. They've done it many times in their various tournament races, or large races, or ladder races, depending on how you play this game. Tso heading straight for Skull Woods. The mirror that he does not have is believed to be found in that big chest. We did not get to see it from sab0tender. We had a little bit of a freeze, but he had it in his inventory when he got to Thieves Town afterwards.
It looks like we're going to be getting that pretty immediately here. Or not.
It's the big chest, not the big king chest.
Big chest. Okay, right.
There's the mitts for sab0tender. Again, once he is done with this dungeon, he will have both the ice and the fire rod, and that fire rod will probably prompt him to head straight back to Skull Woods to finish that dungeon off. Get that pedestal knowledge. Once he sees boing, 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 then he knows what he needs to do for this remainder of this seed. This is too early of this race to really kind of tell that it's going in any one person's direction yet.
Yeah, that is very true. Lots of factors are in play here. Tso has that knowledge, that very important knowledge, but sab0tender, just taking the kind of trips that he has across the Dark World, Overworld, managed to pull up a second sword, has been able to make it through the dungeons a little faster with the mirror access and everything. So
yeah, and that's what I was about to point out, is the fact that mirror, I think, balances out Tso's knowledge that this pedestal is required.
I think so too, yeah, definitely.
As we welcome in a new audience that is tuning in here, those of you that were watching the Star Wars Episode 1 Racer Tournament going on over on SpeedGaming, welcome to SpeedGaming 2, where we are in the midst of the Link to the Past Randomizer group stage, Group Y, between sab0tender and Tso15. Game 3 of the Best of 3 series. Winner goes on to play Andy. Loser plays 1-up in the next round. Adirondack Slim Kirby here with you for this match, and we know that this is a pedestal seed. The hookshot's on the pedestal. Tso knows this, sab0tender does not.
sab0tender working through the dark maze here in Palace of Darkness.
Comment in chat asking where the fire rod is. It's going to be on the Halmasar King. We'll get that soon. As Tso got a red rupee. That was the second item of sight of this Skull Woods, but is facing off against this Mothra that's going to have to be careful. Down to 2 hearts, 1 more hit. Oh, got him. Good. Couple of scary fights there for Tso, but he's alive, and that's the most important part.
Yeah, that really is the most important part. Like, you know, you can have a rough fight, but as long as you make it through it, that's better than the alternative of taking a death and needing to do it again.
sab0tender opting to take the death there because he was down to 1 heart. Better to do that to get your life refilled than to end up losing that life, or rather just mirroring with 1 heart and then dying to the Terra Pits.
Yeah, that's true, and thankfully sab0tender will have a way to get some more hearts right before getting to those secondary dark rooms.
Fires off the bow there, and now it's going to head on over here. One little problem was an unfortunate thing here for sab0tender is the fact that he just got hit by that jelly. So he's not going to have full life, and that used to be a bigger deal before Quick Swap was introduced, was the fact that you ended up going to have to swap away from the hammer to a different item in order to open up the, or hit that switch when you emerge yourself off the stairs. But Quick Swap doesn't make it quite as big of a deal. So we do have that question about where the mirror is. Tso just walked right by it. He will have access to it right now with that big key, but he's just going to walk around first before he checks it.
Yeah, I think he feels like playing a little bit of pinball first before getting that.
I like pinball.
Yeah, pinball's pretty fun.
Tso getting hit a couple of times from the Gibdos and then plays pinball with the Gibdos over here in the corner. Now we'll try to bomb jump his way to the big chest, where we'll get our confirmation that this is the mirror after a couple of angry sword slashes. And there it is, Slim.
There it is. Meanwhile, sab0tender starts his fight against the Terrapins, takes 2 down right there.
So obviously the big question here, as sab0tender's still getting rattled up here into this room, that sword advantage not really paying dividends right now. Going to switch on over to the potion. That's a good idea. Trying to figure out exactly where the sword is supposed to be at this point. Still getting rattled up by one of these terrapins.
Got 1 left. I think that's it.
Yep, that's it. Ether does work on those terrapins if you got them flipped over. It's a good tool to have. sab0tender going with the cane of some Burna for this area here. Good idea to do so. So that 1 sword advantage that sab0tender has, that's in desert. We probably won't see Tso making his way over there until he gets the flute at this point.
Flute, maybe the boots as well, potentially.
I'm thinking of the flute more of the fact that you can get towards Misery Mire in the Mire Shed area. Lump those together.
That's true.
sab0tender's done with the fight there with the Hemosar King. And we are tied up with, well, no, we're not tied up with crystals, but there's the fire rod for sab0tender right there.
Okay, so now we'll see what sab0tender decides to do. He is saving and quitting.
You have to go to Skullwoods at this point.
Yeah, you would think that for sure. Like, that would be one of my logical ideas as well. But, you know, we did get 1 item from there. You know, might not be thinking about that other item potentially, but it looks like he is kind of heading in that direction.
Well, he could still curve to the right and go up the mountain. I thought he was about ready to juke his way. No, he is going to go to Skullwoods. Finish dungeons that you have the accessibility to do.
Okay, so this will put him pretty much on the right track here to get that pedestal knowledge at the very least.
And he needs this pedestal knowledge because we will go to a point in this game where it's going to really hurt sab0tender not to have that pedestal knowledge. And there's the turn up here, and sab0tender will go ahead. We will see him go to Mothula first in case he has the final item, but then we'll go check underneath the bridge, get the 20 rupees there, and then check the pedestal. And this seed gave us the book early. It was an escape.
Little did our runners know that one book could be quite literally the wealth of knowledge that would be entirely necessary for this scene.
I think it is, because at a point in time you'll start getting to where you want to start skipping things or skipping pendant dungeons, and knowing that the pedestal's needed. These back 4 of Escape, or rather these back 4 of Thieves Town, or the back items of Thieves Town, you are going to be going there. Tso down to 2 hearts, going to have to be careful as he makes his escape out of here, but at least got the floor opened up. sab0tender having a little bit of difficulty there with the red boomerang. Trying to get things lined up so that way he can go ahead and use some fire rod shots on the torches. I'm just surprised the fact that he didn't take any damage there.
Well, hey, more power to him.
For sure. And sab0tender doesn't need to worry about this Gibdo with the knowledge that he's already got in the first deck section. Doesn't need to worry about that key. Yeah, let's see how he does with this Mothula fight, as Tso still not out of the woods yet with this Thieves Town with the 2 hearts, but if he can round the corner, then he can get to a section where he can get some hearts. Tso did a hammer strats against the Mothula fight. It was a pretty solid fight, too. And a nice swing there for sab0tender to finish off that Mothula fight.
Yeah, he kept it pretty clean with those fire rod shots at the very beginning.
Nice boomerang.
That boomerang's having a good time down there.
Yeah, it is. Alright, so sab0tender's going to go get this 20 rupees underneath the bridge and then do the mirror to check to see what's on that pedestal. We'll see boing, boing, boing. Then we'll probably see him go into Thieves Town after this. I think Tso at this point, after he's done with this, will start doing the breadsmith chain.
I think so too.
And there's Tso against... oh, sab0tender's walking away!
Oh, no.
He is not going to get that knowledge about the pedestal being required.
And there is the flute on blind.
Yep.
That is not only, like, you know, our way into Misery Mire, but that is also, like, our, what I'm assuming to be our logical trip up to Death Mountain as well.
So now we'll see if sab0tender decides to do Thieves Town. Without that knowledge of the hookshot being on the pedestal, could just very well walk right by Thieves Town. And you know, like, the items are starting to funnel to a point where it's going to push us into these pendant dungeons, but this could be a blind pull for sab0tender at some point in time that he's not going to like. And as you can see, he's walking right by Thieves Town. This is where not having that knowledge about the pedestal is going to start hurting him.
Yeah. Looks like he's going down to do the digging game first. Or no, doing the... I guess he hasn't checked the race game yet.
Yeah, he hasn't checked this yet. Well, you've got 15 seconds. Apparently, it doesn't really work when you do a mirror bonk. Tso using the flute to go get some potions, and it's just a 20 rupee on the ledge there. Tso is about to get the news that the pedestal, or rather the boots, well, he will eventually. We'll get the news that the boots are going to be required for Desert Palace. I did not see. Oh, it's Ether. Ether's required for the Misery Mire, so Tso can't go in there.
That's right, and as we discovered earlier, the Ether Medallion is inside the dam, the first chest in the dam, or the only chest in the dam.
sab0tender digging up a lot of spaces to get the 300 rupees. Tso confirming that it is the Ether to get inside. Over here to Checkerboard Cave. And 20 rupees for Tso. And now he'll walk back to the desert to find out that the boots are required for pendant number 2 of his.
He will get a sword upgrade, though, so that's one thing that he can kind of look at the positives of.
Yeah, he'll be on the same offensive power here as sab0tender as we go through this game number 3. sab0tender making his way through the hammer pegs with the breadsmith in tow. And then, of course, we get a freeze because why not? Why would we want to find out what's in the hammer peg cave? And there's the breadsmith return to home as he gets reunited.
Reunited, and it feels so good.
All for 50 rupees, 40 rupee profit. Tso checking the Agina's cave. Opens up that wall. It doesn't get anything of beneficial gain there. Piece of heart. As sab0tender with the purple chest, and Tso now will get ready to flute away. We could still, as I mentioned earlier, have all of the pieces that we need to get into Turtle Rock to claim that pendant. And it could very well be amongst the 6 items that are available to us in Turtle Rock as well. But we've got a lot of checks here on the mountain.
Yep, and Tso is going to get started on those checks. Going to find the old man here in the old man cave and take him to the mountain cave. This is out of logic right now, but he can do dark rooms, so that should not be an issue.
And plus it also unlocks that one position that you can go ahead and get yourself free health, walk out, flute, and there you go. As sab0tender returns the purple chest, and the purple chest contains the magic cape. And now, where is sab0tender going? He is walking towards the northeast. Could this be a play where we see what's on the pyramid for him? We already know it's Sanctuary Heart. And then make his way over towards Catfish.
We do also see the mushroom as the item on the old man.
Oh, we already had the 5-6 crystal. I didn't even notice that. That's right. Skull Woods and Eastern Palace are our 5-6 crystal. And I bet you love Fetch Quest here, Slim, because we've got a whole bunch of these.
Yeah, getting a lot of fetch quests taken care of now, or at least the ability to check these fetch quests.
Chat inquiring about that, not checking the bombos. sab0tender checked it earlier after he checked the dam. We know that it is a single arrow. Tso making his way over here to the Ether Tablet. And the Ether Tablet today will contain a piece of heart. Nothing good in the Pyramid Fairy.
Yeah, so at this point, I think it's highly likely we're going to be running into our boots here on Death Mountain at this point. I mean, we're getting to that point where we need to get that final pendant so we can, get the hook shot for Swamp Palace. Things are kind of running low on that trail there.
You know, the funny thing is, Slim?
What's that?
We can't even get into Swamp Palace yet.
That's true. We still need to find the flippers as well. That could also be up here too.
These two are going to be so angry with me for rolling this seed.
You can just blame me for that. Have him blame me. I'll take the fall for it.
I'm sorry, the chat logs show that it's my fault.
Then we'll change names.
Okay, Adirondack Rick, I hope you have fun tonight.
We'll do, Slim Kirby.
Also, good luck to you in your match tomorrow, then.
Don't remind me. I'm not ready for it.
Vicky downstairs. No hook shot to Harapot, so we don't even need to worry about that one. Here's the catfish check for sab0tender. I wonder if he's going to check Zora while he's in this area. Catfish drops a piece of heart, will mirror, so therefore we will get a Zora check. But he can't check what's in Waterfall. That's a heart container. For a moment there, I thought that was a bug catching net, but it's not. We got 20 rupees as one of the items inside of this Tower of Hera. Does Moldorm have the second item, or did we already see it?
I actually do not remember.
I think we're being told yes by our tracker. Shoutouts to Jaxie, and 20 rupees comes from the mouth of Zora. I think we have now located where all of our mail upgrades are. Although that's not to be confirmed because we could have very well been maxed out on pieces of heart, but I don't think so at this stage.
Yeah.
We'll drop a heart container. Tso's up to 12 hearts already.
Well, as we said before, we're not getting any mail upgrades, so getting as much health as you can throughout the seed is not a bad thing. So having 12, at least I would kind of feel like in that place where it's like, okay, if I didn't get any more hearts, I would be fine at this point.
sab0tender are going to find out part of his fate, in which that the lumberjack does not have anything that he wants, but he's going to sequence break the mountain. Little does he know that there is access to the mountain by way of a flute that is on a pendant boss. As we go through the spiral cave for Tso, going around and around, and where it stops, well, we'll find out what the item stops at. This is a bizarre game 3, Mr. Slim Kirby.
It really is, and all things considered, despite not having that knowledge of the hookshot on the pedestal, Sabo is still doing a good job of at least trying to stay in there, check his locations in a nice fashion, and he is essentially moving to where Tso is working right now. So he is kind of trailing. It's just unfortunate that, for example, he didn't finish Thieves Town, which Tso has already done. So that is another dungeon Tso has on Sabo. So gonna need to find that way to kind of catch up here, but at this point, Tso's probably gonna find the boots first, and the boots is the ultimate catch-up item, I'd say.
I think at this point in time, Tso is in the lead as far as item exploration is concerned. Just getting to what we are going to find out as unique items that we don't know about at this stage, because sab0tender is going to be trailing him up this mountain. Little does he know that he's not going to ever find a hookshot in here, but what are we going to find inside here in Paradox Cave? There's the lamp. That's going to tell something to sab0tender.
Yeah, that's going to tell him that, oh hey, the flute is somewhere on the ground.
And he needs that flute at some point in time to beat Misery Mire, so he knows that any dark room is not going to lead to where that flute is. And now 11 hearts in hand for sab0tender. As Tso gets ready to go up the mountain, we'll find out what is needed to get into Turtle Rock.
That is actually a good point being brought up in chat. If Ether is the required medallion for Turtle Rock, that will, give Sabo a little bit of wiggle room. Maybe not enough to catch up at this point, but something to kind of distract Tso and going back down the mountain.
I think at this point what it does is it depends on what we have here. Bombs and blue rupee. I'm thinking here is going to be a case that if this turns out to be Ether, Tso can't get in. He's going to have to figure out where the Ether is and then walk back up this mountain.
Yeah, that is very true. And we have Bombos.
It's the one we don't even have.
Interesting. Okay. Wow. This seed is pulling at us in all kinds of directions today.
The plot thickens. And we don't even have access at this point to get into Misery Mire. Even if sab0tender wanted to get into Misery Mire. And speaking of sab0tender, we're waiting. Well, that's a red rupee, and we see an immediate reset there. There we go. sab0tender just took a little extended break.
He was really enjoying that coffee.
The only one who should have an excuse for that is Willard. I'm not even going to bring up what Chad is saying. But Tso now, I think this is where he does the breadsmith chain that we saw from sab0tender. Probably do fake powder afterwards.
Yeah, I would, Or didn't he turn in the mushroom?
He did, but did a reset.
Oh, okay. I didn't see the reset.
sab0tender making his way through this dungeon, and now there's still a possibility. sab0tender, there is one cave that we did not see from Tso up here on the mountain, and it turned out to be quite a very important cave in a match that I called yesterday over on SpeedGaming 4.
That's true. There are some, there are some loose squares here and there that still need to be checked. At this point, just kind of looking at what we have and what we found and what we're still kind of looking for at this exact moment, I'm really starting to think we got something in Misery Mire.
We don't even have access to Misery Mire yet.
Yeah, all Tso will need to find is that Ether Medallion, which we do know where that is. That is in the dam.
And even if he does get that, he doesn't have access because we need the boots to get in there.
That's right, yeah. I forgot about that. Say there's Spike Cave. Have we seen Ice Rod Cave yet?
No, we haven't.
Oh boy.
Like, we haven't even seen Tso check the dam area, and it's 57 minutes in. Oh, okay, so sab0tender has the bombos.
Oh! Okay, that changes things up a little bit.
Alright, well, there. We didn't see it earlier because sab0tender had a freeze right at the perfect moment. He had a freeze when we didn't see the mirror. We had a freeze when we didn't see the bombos.
So what you're telling me is whenever Sabo's game feed freezes, then we know he's about to get an important item. I see how it is.
All right, fake powder time for Tso, and sab0tender's about to find out that the bombos is required to get into Turtle Rock. The plot continues to thicken on this seed. Now, don't forget, as we're nearing the 1 hour mark, there's a piece of information that sab0tender does not know.
Yeah, and that's a very, very important piece of this seed's puzzle.
So there he opens up the portal to Turtle Rock, and now is going to go ahead and do all of these other Dark Mountain or Death Mountain checks, including Paradox Cave and Spiral Cave. And Tso getting ready to just walk this chest back. Not going to get anything of importance out of all of this. Although, did we see what was on Bumper or on Bumper Cave yet?
I don't remember, honestly.
I don't think we've seen that. Neither have we seen Graveyard Ledge either. So, as we're nearing on the 1 hour mark, and these runners are doing checks that we've seen from both of these runners, a recap of this race. Game number 3 of this Group Y match between sab0tender and Tso. The winner goes to face Andy. The loser will face off against 1UP in this group. And this is quite the bizarre group as it is. And I mean, just watch Andy versus 1UP Game 3 for an example of how bizarre this group has been already. But just continuing with that line, this is a pedestal seed. One of these runners knows that it's boing, boing, boing on the pedestal. The other does not know. The one on the right knows it. The one on the left doesn't. In addition to that, Tso's already cleared off his mountain checks, so therefore he's going to have to walk back up this mountain to go to Turtle Rock in a little bit. Like, this race is just going in many directions. sab0tender gets the lamp. He has not been through Thieves Town to get that flute yet, so now he knows that the flute is the how he's supposed to be up on this mountain.
That also begs the question, you know, in some of those mountain locations we haven't checked yet, is maybe Sabo going to look at those first before thinking about Thieves Town? Potentially thinking, okay, well, the flute is how I'm supposed to get up here. That just means it's going to be in one of these locations, and might still put off Thieves Town even beyond that.
And it really depends on how this scene wants to play out. Now, Tso's about to get another piece of the information here, as at 1 hour, 1 minute, we are finally... I guess now, we're just going to walk by the dam. We're just going to walk by the dam.
Looks like Tso, I think this is his first trip to Mini Moldorm Cave.
Yeah, that classic 61-minute Moldorm Cave check. And that's the bizarre thing about this seed. We don't know where the flippers are. We don't know where the boots are. The one thing we do know is about that hook shot. And you know what the worst thing would be is if we found the flippers somewhere.
Yep.
Because then the boots could very well be in Swamp Palace in the first area.
Wow, are you actually suggesting double dipping Swamp?
Yes. I mean, we've already had that once in one of these qualifiers. Why not have it in an actual race?
That's fair.
Now remember, sab0tender, you do not have the hook shot. Now, I know you would love to know where that hook shot is, and we know where the hook shot is, but you don't have the hook shot. Remember that when you're about ready to go around in a circle here, as Diesel finally, at 62 minutes in, is going to check the dam.
He will be rewarded with another piece of the puzzle that he does need to complete this seed. Cannot make use of it yet, though. As you highlighted, we do need the boots or hook shot to get.
sab0tender, you don't have the hook shot. Thank you.
At least they give you a loop right there to, like, Here, remind you. It's like, if you did this, you don't have hookshot, you can still use me to get back.
Both of these runners are probably going, why did this seed have to do this to us? Why? In game 3. Now, the good thing is that this is not a lower bracket match, so therefore, whoever loses this match, well, they get to play more random next week.
They do. You got to be eliminated twice in the group stage before you're officially eliminated from the groups in the tournament.
I'm not sure if having to face one up at this point is going to be much of a consolation gift right there. I mean, like I said, we've already mentioned this many times in this broadcast. This group is spicy.
It is so spicy.
sab0tender now back to start, going here, getting ready to deal with the chain chomps. Don't know what these chain chomps are going to have. We have not seen the big key, so it's going to be in one of these next 2 checks. Okay, gets the chain chomps to go at least in somewhat of a favorable thing. He's going to wait them out here. They're blocking that chest. Get away from the chest. There's the big key. I have done many a seeds here in the 4 years of doing Link to the Past Randomizer commentary. This one feels probably one of the weirder ones.
It really is. I mean, we have a Turtle Rock pendant that leads to a always required hookshot. It's not often that you see that because, again, you need such a unique item load to even finish Turtle Rock.
Tso getting ready to go into the portal. This will be a likely trip into Turtle Rock at this point because you need to do it. You know that you need to do it. If you find the boots, then you know that you can finish Desert Palace as well. sab0tender getting ready to face off against the 2 pokies in this room. They're nicely dropping some hearts, and Tso getting himself dead-rocked. No matter how many times we try to petition this game to get rid of those dead rocks, they still remain.
He's even giving him the business even on the lower end of the mountain, too.
That's a 5-yard penalty. Here's Tso going through Super Bunny Cave, and we find a piece of heart to lead us to 13 total hearts. These runners will get 1 more heart container to make it 14. Tso needed to go into Super Bunny Cave as it was because he needed the magic.
Meanwhile, we are still coming up empty on items in Turtle Rock. It makes me really wonder if we will even find anything here. Maybe those boots are an Ice Rod Cave this whole time.
Nice deep dive into Pendant Turtle Rock on a Pedestal seed. The boing, boing, boing. The hookshot is there. sab0tender getting a little annoyed. So, here's the question. Does sab0tender nope out of this dungeon after finding something of progression on Laser Bridge? I think at that point in time, it's GG.
Yeah, I would hope not. At this point, you've dedicated so much time to this dungeon. If you still don't get something, or even if you do get something, you're right there. You don't want to have to end up coming all the way back up here.
All right, laser bridge time. We know there's going to be a key in one of these 4 checks. That's a red rupee. That's a no. sab0tender goes, come on, man. Going to number 2. That's the 14th and final heart container. Here's the key. Check number 4 is the green 20. If there is something in this dungeon, it's on Trinexx.
I honestly don't think there is anything on Trinexx. I'm honestly feeling that right now.
I actually need to check to see the menu at this point in time, but we're not going to get a menu check. We do have the map and compass, so there is a 5th item of this dungeon that is going to be on the Trinexx. Oh, Tso ended up doing the ride of shame. You hate to see it. There it is, map and compass. We are going to get item number 5 on this Trinexx. Going to the hammer strat right there. Only got 2 hits. Now focusing on the ice hedge so it doesn't decide that it's going to give you a little bit of a gift on the floor. There's the first of the kills right there as Tso's using the Cane of Burn strat here to help himself out with the... oh, that's just a little wide. Tso takes the death to the chain chomps. That's going to cost him a few moments here with a ride back. About a minute he's going to lose due to that death. sab0tender's going to have to be careful. Does have a blue potion, but I don't think you really want to use it just yet. There it is.
Does get that head down, so... Even if it wasn't an optimal fight, again, like we said earlier, you just want to kind of get through it at this point.
Stage 2 of the Trinexx fight. Tso's going to have to calm himself down. I think those nerves got a little rattled with that chain chomp death. There's the finish for the Trinexx fight for sab0tender. Do we get anything in this Turtle Rock at all? 10 arrows. And the pendant for sab0tender, but we needed to do this dungeon.
He doesn't know that, but we needed to do this dungeon.
So next, sab0tender is going to finish off the final piece of this puzzle of this mountain. A check of Spike Cave, I would hope, at this point. Yes, he's going to walk over there.
Yeah, and this was a location we did not see Tso check, so... You know, this could be the boots. It's either going to be here or it's going to be on Ice Rod Cave. I think that's all we have left at this point.
Yeah, because we've already checked Zora. And it doesn't have to be boots. It could be flippers.
That's true.
We know it's not the magic powder because we saw Tso do fake powder a little bit ago. You know the worst thing it could be?
A fetch quest item?
Yeah, and we have one fetch quest item left. That thing that's next to the hammer. sab0tender threw the spikes. It's 3 bombs. The answer's no. Oh my goodness, where do we go from here?
Oh wait, Graveyard Ledge and Bumper Cave.
Yes, you're right. Does sab0tender now pull out the book and just find out what's on this pedestal? It does not look it based on the way he is walking, although he could still bypass it, but as he's walking on over toward the portal, but with the mitts, he's just going to go north here.
That, or go back into Thieves Town. He does have half the dungeon left, after all.
The book was in the first section, or rather in Escape, in the first section of this game. Tso checked it 7 minutes in, saw that it said boing, 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 knew right away that this was a ped seed. sab0tender making the walk back to Thieves Town at this point. This will get him the flute, which will send him over towards the Mire Shed area, but your princess is in another castle, to borrow a line from another game.
And I think at this point, like, if you're sab0tender, you know, you just full cleared all of Turtle Rock, still not finding what you need to kind of continue and progress this seed. You got to be thinking, like, okay, maybe this could be a pedestal seed. I just devoted all my time to a pendant dungeon. Maybe this is what I go for.
This is the way that he feels that he can get back into this race after diving all of Turtle Rock for nothing, is that he's now banking it on being a pedestal seed. Little does he know that it is.
Yeah, because, I mean, you got to be thinking, if this wasn't a pedestal seed, I'm like, why, you know, some of these items have been in good places. Why hasn't my opponent finished yet? Like, he's either on the same track as me, or this is, as we said, a pedestal seed, so...
Yeah, at an hour 13, you're not thinking that, but as we get closer to the 90-minute mark, the 95-minute mark, you're starting to really think that. And again, we don't know what the answer is, and I love the fact that that little... that turtle or beetle or whatever that thing is called was just tracking up with him, or Tso right there with the can of Burno usage. That's funny. Only the best of seeds here on SpeedGaming 2. Day number 7 of the group stage has not disappointed yet. And if you are really appreciating what you are seeing here on SpeedGaming 2, we invite you to follow both of these runners, sab0tender and Tso15. Please be sure to follow them, give them some love, give them some support. As we see sab0tender making his way on over to check what we have in the big chest. We already know that's nothing of importance. The next thing he's going to get is the flute on blind.
Looks like Tso will have to deal with that ice on the floor, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's going to try to get some spinning working over here. Gets a double spin, which is good. You need 5 hits in order to take care of Trinexx, and that's 4 and 5. There we go. We're probably going to see Tso make that play to go into Spike Cave as well, because at this point, you want everything on the... excuse me, you want everything on this mountain.
Yeah, this will give sab0tender his flute.
And another boomerang flying in the air there for sab0tender as he grabs the red pendant. Now we are 2/3 of the way to pulling that pedestal, but neither runner has the way to pull that third just yet.
So sab0tender going to activate that flute, and, you know, there are obviously, like, some checks that one runner's done that the other one hasn't, but aside from that, in terms of, like, actual item and dungeon progression, both of our runners are tied at this point.
I'm going to ask you a serious question here, Mr. Slim Kirby.
What is that question?
If the boots are in Ice Rod Cave, what do you think as a runner at the hour 17 mark?
My opponent's had this for a very long time. Maybe. It is a location that gets skipped quite often, actually.
It is, but it is also a Spear 1 location. You gotta go through the game at that point thinking that your opponent has gotten that early on. Tso fluting to the wrong direction, fluting to 3. And I think at this point he's got north stuff to check. And then sab0tender's just got these 3 checks remaining, and then We have pretty much checked everything except for the 3 remaining locations in this game: Graveyard Ledge, Bumper Ledge, and Ice Rod Cave. And sab0tender, you do not have access inside of here, but you will open up the gate.
He just wanted to see the Ether Medallion animation, that's all.
First check coming up here. sab0tender, you don't have access in here. He just realized it. There we go. And there's the Angry Sword. And there's a Tempered Sword. Okay, that's not what I was expecting to see here.
You know, at this point, where both of our runners are pretty close to each other in terms of like progression and everything, that could actually make a difference if Sabo doesn't go in that direction. That can make a big difference.
If Graveyard Ledge is the answer, then sab0tender's getting that sword. If it's not, then yeah, that's an advantage for Tso. Red Rupee right there. So now sab0tender's down to those 3 remaining checks as well.
Is he going to Ice Rod Cave?
Flute to 3. He's going to do this north checks as well. He's going to do the exact same thing that Tso is doing. So Tso is going to have a limited lead here as far as who is pulled out ahead at this point. Oh my goodness. What a game 3. What a game 3.
What a game 3 indeed. Like I'm honestly wondering like if there are any other locations that maybe like one is checked and the other hasn't, just to see if there's like any other loose squares that we're forgetting about here.
The pedestal. The pedestal.
Well, yeah, Rick. We got that.
like that's the whole entire problem. It's like that's the only really thing that I can think of at this point. And there's the boots. What a seed!
What a seed indeed.
And sab0tender has the same issue that we saw from Tso, Red Rupee instead of King's Tomb. Now, this would be bad news for sab0tender if one of these 2 checks leads to the flippers.
It sure would.
And Tso is going to go ahead and check to see what we have here first, and then make his way over to Desert, get that final pendant, so that way he can get the hook shot. And thankfully, the flippers are not in those 2 checks. And we are not in go mode until we find where those flippers are. Or, yeah, those flippers. And you know the really worst location that those flippers could be?
Hookshot Cave?
Hookshot Cave! Because why not at this point? There's the boost for sab0tender.
So he's going to rush on out of there.
Yeah, he's going to do the same thing that we saw from Tso. Check King's Tomb, check Block Rocks. I mean, these 2 checks right now make sense for sab0tender. You're right here in the area.
Mm-hmm.
As we see Tso heading on over here, he's going to get a small key inside of this big chest. Also, don't forget this is the green pendant as well.
Also, with the boots, Sabo could be tempted to check Misery Mire first.
Yeah, but thankfully, you know, at that stage, you can do that back-to-back with Desert when Mire comes up empty.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I guess I'm more so thinking, like, if he does check Mire first and does find the flippers there...
Oh, I forgot about the mushroom!
Oh, yeah, mushroom.
I forgot that sab0tender never checked this. Now, we saw Tso check this earlier, so you mentioned about those checks. I forgot about this.
Besides, the health refill is infinitely more important than that red rupee.
You know, I don't really want this to become a meme, but this definitely was a Rickrolled seed. And they're going to yell at me in the commentary booth afterwards when they're done with this. And as you mentioned, we have to play into Misery Mire here for sab0tender. If he gets the flippers in here, that's bad news still.
Because he could be tempted to check Swamp. Yeah, that is true. And there also, I think, like, isn't there something else they could do with the flippers as well? I'm trying to... Oh, Ice Palace.
Ice Palace. We haven't seen Waterfall Cave yet.
So yeah, that's true, yeah.
Mentioning that sab0tender would full clear ice, that's not really a bad thing because of Icebreaker. Now, different story if we didn't have the Canis and Mario with us. As Tso going through this desert palace, had not seen the second item. It's over here on the right-hand side. sab0tender gets a small key in the first chest of Misery Mire. Compass fine for Tso in desert. A map fine for sab0tender. Tso finds the flippers, they're a desert!
And honestly, at this point, that's all Tso needs to know. That's the last item that, because he knows where the hookshot is. That's his last item.
He's going to delay this for now because he doesn't need it for Misery Mire. We can make the validation call here that Tso at 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 25 seconds is the first of these runners into...
Go mode.
Let's go. Now, thankfully, sab0tender has not found the big key just yet, so if it's over here in cutscene chest, that's going to be at least good news for sab0tender, who's full clearing this desert, or rather this Misery Mire. Turns out to be in the compass chest, but he's still looking for items.
Yes, he is, and there's not really anything at this point that would give him any extra like leeway over Tso. Both runners have full health at this point. Powder could, be a decent safety to refill your health if you need to at the end of Ganon's tower, but
half magic would be the biggest thing, honestly.
Half magic, yeah, that's really it.
Because we've already got the maximum sword in the tempered sword. And there's 10 arrows right there. Fantastic find. As Tso gets the small key right there, and sab0tender's just going to walk right by it. I think we've already seen both items of this Misery Mire, so sab0tender's going right to Vitreous. But sab0tender, not with the flippers in hand, will go and do Desert Palace at this point. But I think he's going to go and check that right side before he does the Lammo.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think at this point in time, this is Tso's race to win. And Tso's guess, or his prize for winning this match, will be a best-of-3 series against one of the best-known rando runners, best-known Link to the Past runners, period, in Andy.
Yep, as we mentioned before, like he was the winner of, I believe, the 3rd main tournament, if I remember correctly. So, definitely a lot of experience there.
Yeah, he won the 2018 tournament.
Oh, 3rd and 4th, that's right.
He ended up winning that 3rd one there, starting off with such a fantastic ride through the round of the first round. Dealing with that 512-person tournament, my goodness. And there's sab0tender with the cape and use of the tempered sword. Just going to be taking care of these eyeballs and then knock off Vitreous to finish off with this fight. sab0tender will go into desert, but the way he routes desert is going to be key. But even there, I don't think this is going to be enough to really help sab0tender at this point. With another boomerang flashy boomerang, it's hard to believe that, Slim, it's hard to believe that something that happened at 7 minutes in played such a role in this race.
That's true, yeah. That one decision of Tso to check the pedestal, that is honestly, I think...
Oh, nice. Eyeball kill there for Tso. Wow. Sorry to interrupt you on that one. That was a thing of beauty right there for Tso.
Hey, no problem. That was a beautiful, beautiful phase one for that fight. But yeah, as I was saying, that pedestal check, very vital in this seed. I feel like if sab0tender had that knowledge, would have maybe been able to focus a little more on dungeon progression as opposed to some of the overworld checks that he made, and could have, honestly made this race even closer than it is at this current point.
sab0tender would have done Thieves Town in his first trip in. He would have probably prioritized going into some of these pendant dungeons afterwards. Unfortunately, he's about to get some bad news here with those flippers. Meanwhile, Tso is making the walk. Heading on over here to the pedestal. About ready to officially get the final piece of this puzzle that he needs in order to beat this seed. There's the flippers for sab0tender.
So let's see what he does.
He's pulling out the flute. There it is. Right there. And Tso is going to show why that's a bad move right there. There is the hook shot off the pedestal for Tso. And at 1 hour 29:32, he's now ready to go.
We're finally going to see what's inside Ice Rod Cave.
That leisurely 90-minute trip to Spear 1, Ice Rod Cave, where just a 20 awaits.
And at that point, that could start being the health that we're not getting since we are at full health now.
sab0tender's going to go ahead and check a lot of other things before he even bothers going back to Lambos. And it's just unfortunate for sab0tender in this case. He had an opportunity to pull himself back in, but I really think that the minute that he walked away from that pedestal after beating Skull Woods without checking it, it did pave the way to exactly what I was fearing, that he was not going to play out these pendant dungeons the way he needed to.
Yeah, I mean, that's just the way this race is boiled down to, unfortunately for him. It's not often that you see a pendant turtle rock actually being required for the pedestal pull. Just again, you need a lot of very particular items just to get that.
And today, we got them.
We did. The layout worked perfectly for that.
There's the flute to A for sab0tender, getting ready to go into Ice Palace. Hopefully for sab0tender, the layout to these items would be convenient, but he's going to check Waterfall first. There's our final bottle.
So yeah, being in go mode, Tso going to be able to basically do both of these final dungeons very, very quickly. Won't need to really worry about fishing any items out. Just going to go straight to the back, go straight to the bosses, and just finish it up in that way.
Is the first of our diver down scenarios here for Tso. There's the first. Gets that taken care of. Good job. And now makes his way over towards the back. sab0tender now going through this Ice Palace. Now again, the good thing here for sab0tender would be if we find all three items on the path. so that way he can go right straight to Cold Stair, because it's pretty much the route that Tso is going to be making at this point. Also, just as a note, you may be seeing some weird things on sab0tender's screen, like the way some of the menus seem to be just coming in and out there, like little movements on the screen there. Just as a note that sab0tender is one of the runners that does play on a Macintosh, or an Apple computer, rather. I think it's still a Mac. So therefore, you're seeing those adjustments right there. I think he might be at this point feverishly checking the race room to see whether or not Tso has finished off this race.
Yeah, it's like you said earlier. You know, around that 90-minute mark is when you kind of start wondering, like, especially with just the fact that you're checking like almost every single thing. Like, you're just wondering, okay, my opponent, is he not done yet? Did I just mess up completely? Because, you know, that boots location to get the flippers, at least in his knowledge, because he doesn't know about hookshot yet, you know, that was available for a good part of the seed.
And now Tso going into this Ice Palace, he's going to make this dungeon a blazing fast dungeon with the ability to do Icebreaker. sab0tender did not opt to do Icebreaker here. Maybe he's just trying to play it out to the logic in case he could not go any further in this dungeon. But he's got a small key in the arsenal, so therefore he could get over here to the right-hand side. I know that we are getting some inquiries in chat regarding about how we saw earlier a piece of heart underneath the water at the dam, and that turned into a green 20. That's one of the things about the hard item pool. It maxes out your abilities to get hearts and whatnot. The way it works is that it does place all of your heart containers that you normally would have. There's the half magic that you normally would have. However, once you exceed a certain number of heart pieces, certain number of heart containers plus the sanctuary heart to add up to 14 total hearts, everything else turns into green 20s.
Yeah, you can almost look at it as like the same logic that the progressive item pool will use. Is like, you know, you may see a sword on a ledge and it's the first sword, but if you come back later with two other swords, it'll turn into a third sword. Basically, depending on your equipment, it will change on what that next level is. So in the hard mode specifically, which, you know, obviously maxes at a certain point in terms of what you can get, it'll turn those items into green 20s.
So here we got another question regarding to why that Tso ended up hitting the switch before doing the icebreaker. That's because you don't know where the big key is going to be. If the big key turns out to be in the most annoying location, and it does actually look like it's in the most annoying location of the iced tea room, then you're going to lose time because you would need the switch to be active down so that you could get on over towards the big key, because you would need that big key to get down to Cold Stair. This is that kind of circumstance here.
And you can already see the difference between go moding this dungeon and not, as Tso, despite entering after sab0tender, already on the boss, while sab0tender still looking for those last remaining items.
Oh, Tso's going to have to be careful. Does have a blue potion. He's going to go ahead and use it here. And try to finish off of this fight here. There's one, there's two. Got one more to go. And that is 3.
And with that, Tso will get his 7th crystal, which means it is that time, Rick. What do we got going on in chat? I see a bunch of numbers. I'm scared. What's going on?
They're just putting down what date of birth they are. That's all. They're like that this person's born on the 10th day of the whatever month they were born on. This person was born on the 12th day of whatever month they were born on. That's it.
Oh.
That's got to be it, right?
Wow.
Right.
So
Okay,
someone,
well, anyways, let's get on to the serious stuff here. Ladies and gentlemen, there's 22 possibilities in Ganon's Tower where the big key can be located. Pick a number between 1 and 22 and put it into chat. And tell Slim and myself where you believe that the big key to Ganon's Tower is going to be. Slim, where do you think it's going to be?
oh Rick, you know it's going to be number 8.
Well, I'm going to pick number 10. By the way, shoutouts to Jaxie, our tracker, hitting the buttons, making sure that everything works here on this stream. Much appreciated. We are very appreciative of all the work that our trackers do here to make sure that all of the items that these runners have found are lit up the way that they need to be.
Yep, commentators love to have their trackers nearby because, you know, sometimes we can only see so much, and trackers help us see those little things that we may not see, so.
sab0tender at this stage at 1 hour 38 is going, how in the world is Tso not done with this seed yet? What in the world is going on here? As Tso gets ready to go into Ganon's Tower, I think sab0tender now has to go back to Desert to finish off with the Lambo fight. Here we go, Slim. We've got 40 points that will be going to the winner by way of this guessing game. And we have over here on the right-hand side, chest number 1 is a small key. Is this a hope? Well, it's a double small key. We're going right-hand side here with Tso.
But you can't smash the 2 keys together to make a big key. That's not how this works.
Well, if you can do that, then you still need to have another small key in order to get upstairs.
That's fair.
This doesn't work like Minecraft, where you can go ahead and craft items together.
Okay, gonna check out the next 4 items here in Ganon's Tower.
Number 3 is a green 20. Number 4 is a red rupee. Number 5 is a green 50. Number 6 is a red 20. While we may have found 110 rupees, it is not over there on the right-hand side. Tso grabs the small key and makes his way further. Left side here, and what do we have on the torch, Slim?
We have another red rupee.
sab0tender grabbing the green pendant. As Tso now pushes the block. Going in over to here, and now we will see what we have in the staff post room as sab0tender checks the race room once again.
I believe this is number 8. We have another green 20.
Number 9. Number 10. Staffos, please. Staffos, please. Hey, there's the 10 bombs. Next check is number 12, right?
I believe so. Yep, that is correct.
All right. sab0tender getting ready to check this pedestal. He's not going to be happy when he finds that this is the hook shot. I'm surprised there's no bombs in front of this pedestal.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got Boing.
There's go mode for sab0tender. And now he kind of feels empty inside because of that book was in Escape. And Tso checked it 7 minutes in. That was number 13, by the way, for Tso as he starts to empty off his bombs. 14 through 17 coming up with Mr. Slim Kirby giving us the call for these 4 items.
Just so you know, him dropping bombs everywhere, this is not Bomberman syndrome. This is just getting rid of that inventory space. As we have 3 more bombs, a red rupee, 10 arrows, and 50 rupees. We are going really deep for this big key.
What's our next check number?
I believe we're at 19? No, 18?
Number 18 coming up here with the Bob's Chest. By the way, shout outs to Bomberman. That's part of our Super 16 we've got coming up on SpeedGaming next Saturday.
Indeed.
All right. Number 18 is the Big Key. There we go. If you picked number 18, you are today's winner. Congratulations. And Doppelopoulos is our big winner of the Big Key guessing game, has scored 40 points. Congratulations. Well, Riker also scoring 5 bonus points there to get himself on the leaderboard, as well as sab0tender is now inside of Swamp Palace. Thankfully, he didn't go in there before going back into Desert.
Yeah, that is true. It is actually kind of a relief that he did make that play to, finish up Desert. I'm wondering if maybe that was kind of what he was thinking. Maybe he had like one other item as well as... Oh, no, he didn't have any other items, but the green pendant and the Master Sword. Decided to check those locations over coming in here, because I think there were technically a possibility for more items in Swamp.
Yeah, and it does appear that sab0tender is not used to the Canis Maria tricks by the way that he's not going to be opting to do Diver down here. So Tso going through the 4th floor gauntlet of Ganon's tower. Tempered sword in hand. The only thing that could be good for him that we don't know the location of is the magic powder. I don't know if that's enough to be opening up some chests here on the way up the mountain, or the way up the tower.
I mean, honestly, at this point, the chances are pretty not too bad for it to be up here at the top of Ganon's tower when you really think about what we have left here. We've cleared a lot in this seed.
And if you are enjoying what you're watching here on this Link to the Past Randomizer tournament, be sure to tune in, because we've got a lot of more great races coming up here in this tournament. Got a race that just kicked off a few minutes ago over on SpeedGaming 3. Also a match that is going to be beginning at 8:10 over on SpeedGaming 2. And then a whole bunch of matches coming up early morning tomorrow, starting at 4:10 a.m. Eastern Time, 10:10 if you're over in the Central European summertime. A lot of fun here as we start to wrap up week number 1 of this tournament, and it's been an amazing run, and it's just going to only get better because right now, unless things happen, it's going to be Tso versus Andy for this group, and sab0tender versus 1UP.
Yeah, we mentioned this earlier, Group Y, definitely one of the more dangerous groups we saw when we looked at the reveal last weekend.
Oh, fake powder to get himself some anti-fairies. Here's a smooth thinking here from Tso. And all in all, for what sab0tender's been through, he is not that far behind, but he's going to be a climb behind Tso here. Just unfortunate again, the hook shot being on the pedestal kind of played a role in here. And speaking of the hook shot, I guess we don't need that for World War II. That's a nice hover there from Tso to wrap things up here.
Throwing shade on that item that we spent so much of the seed trying to collect.
And if we didn't need it for Swamp Palace, then, I think Tso was going to be content doing that all seed long.
That's true.
Gets 1 out of 3 possible hits there on the first dagger stage there. And I don't know if that's 1 or 2 that he got there. We'll find out a little bit later on. That will be 1. I think that's a single there to put us at 3. That's 4. Oh, nope, that did count as a double, so that's 6. A really rough pattern there, but Tso is done, and he's going to be off to see the Ganon. We're about ready to create some bacon here on this Saturday evening. Here we go.
And with that, sab0tender is starting his journey up Ganon's tower.
Heads on Ganon here. Stage number 3. sab0tender also taking those 2 small keys over here to the right-hand side. All right. How many spins do we need to finish this fight off?
We need 12 spins. Now, that spin won't count. Yep, that one won't count.
There's 1. Over here to the upper right, that's no. Gonna just wait out the shot here. Now try to get him a triple here. That's 2 so far, that's 3. Over here to the top corner, that's 4. Light up the torch. There's 5. Top left, that's 6. Bottom left, here's 7. Wait for the torch here, go up to the top. Got him just in time for 8. Over there to 9, and top left here for 10. Final cycle. That's 11. And the final spin to win. And Tso, with that spin, will have won this best of 3 match between him and sab0tender to fight Andy in the winners finals of Group Y. Get your GGs in the chat here for Tso.
Yep, finishes with an official race time GG time of 1 hour, 49 minutes, and 36 seconds.
And we will see sab0tender play the seed on out. Switching on over to the Cane of Samaria, and we'll go ahead and talk a little bit here for Tso. Now, we might have to wait a little bit for Tso because we do have a second language stream of this going on over on SpeedGaming Portuguese, and he might be talking over there for a little bit here as we see sab0tender climbing up the tower.
But yeah, just to think, the one item that kind of became pretty significant, probably the most significant in this seed, was something we collected not even like 3 minutes into the seed in the form of that Book of Medora. That book gave Tso the knowledge of what was on the pedestal less than 10 minutes into the race, and that allowed him to kind of route through the seed in his own fashion, knowing that, okay, likely this is going to end up being my go mode item. Well, sab0tender did not have that knowledge for the entire seed until he blind pulled the pedestal, and at the end of the day was only a GT of difference behind Tso.
And that really, honestly, is not a bad difference. Just shows you how this race could have gone the other way if sab0tender, once he was done with Skull Woods, checked that pedestal. Could have been a whole different race at that stage, but, that's why this is a double elimination style, GSL style group stage.
Yeah, definitely.
So sab0tender making his way up to the tower. It's got 3 hearts remaining, but I wonder if he has any sort of potion that will give him life back at this stage. He's gonna have to be careful with these mimics because, as you can see, they do 1 heart or 2 hearts damage.
And we did see he has a green potion, but I don't know if he has any blues or reds with him.
He may be trying to get over to where you can restock. That's a good safe spot there for sab0tender. Good thinking there as he makes his way up. Now it's just got to get through these next 2 rooms, and then he can restock on the fairies. But the Igors, they can get nasty sometimes. So at least they played out nicely here.
See, all sab0tender needs to do here is just make it through this room. And he is going to get some fairies that'll heal him right up, back to full health.
And also the magic refill as sab0tender down going up to the 4th floor.
And it's called the Tickle Beam.
I don't think anyone's laughing. Well, at least I don't think these 2 runners are laughing. Still to come over here on Speed Gaming 2. Coming up in about 40 minutes from now, we are going to have another Link to the Past Randomizer matchup. This one between Frostbite 3030 versus Will WC that features the voices of Dazed Cloud and NY Rambler. That's going to be over here on Speed Gaming 2 coming up in about 40 minutes from now. So stay tuned for that. And also, we got several other great matches coming up this evening. Ganon 2 versus Brav going on right now as we speak over on Speed Gaming 3. And then, of course, also not getting streams, but we'll be running in the background as well as Jet82 versus Ben Easy, number 132 against the last main tournament champion.
And that's something we're honestly seeing a lot of in this tournament. Like, you know, you look at, you know, some of the seeds and qualifier numbers that we have here, and you know, you're seeing a lot of matches that would be considered upsets, but in reality, this was a pretty tough qualifier and just tournament so far. A lot of very talented runners who know what they're doing with Randomizer, know what they're doing through Link to the Past, have been able to perform very well in the tournament and these modes, this mode for the tournament. So definitely huge kudos to all the runners who have taken part in this tournament so far.
And the whole Benteezy story right there, the fact that he's number 132 ended up getting into this tournament due to the unfortunate dropping of Radical Sniper, and we do wish the best with Radical Sniper.
Definitely.
And then also we have P-Train versus Pryor going on as well, which they may be needing a game 3. We don't know at this point. Maybe they don't. So Humbug versus Lot coming up tomorrow morning, 4:10 a.m. And then also Ferrami versus Scrub Casual coming up at 7:10 a.m. Shady Force versus 2C in the morning as well. Ryback versus Makenex. Big Duncan versus Madcalf, Top Life versus Zelga. Those are some good matches in the morning tomorrow morning.
Yeah, a lot of very familiar names in the randomizer community, so a lot of tough matches for both runners involved. It's going to be really excellent seeing how some of those matches go out and how they play out.
All right. Really rough setup here for sab0tender as well. We didn't really see great setups here for Tso in this fight as well. But that's a pretty solid finish there for sab0tender. He's now off to go visit Ganon.
About to visit the Baconator.
This stream, by the way, is not brought to you by that hamburger chain, although if they really would like to, Feedsel's taking some opportunities. Go ahead and contact him for those opportunities. And sab0tender getting ready to face off against Ganon. Trinexx to the face really hurt.
Yeah. I wish I could say I know from experience, but I really don't.
I would have asked that big question if you had some sort of experience taking a trident to the face. I was like, yeah. I know you've been around for a while with the gameplays and whatnot, but how slim would you know the feeling of a trident to the face?
I have no answer for that.
I do like the sword that is stuck out here at Ganon's foot.
Yeah.
There we go.
So sab0tender is on phase 4 now. Just needs to get those 12 silverless spins on Ganon to finish him off.
Yep. And he's got half magic, so he can be a little more aggressive with the use of the fire rod strats to light the torches, because in that case you can go for triple per cycle. Couldn't get that one, so he won't get a triple on this cycle. Around and around we go. Lighting up the torch, spinning around, didn't get him in time. Over here to the bottom left corner, needs to light the torch. Doesn't get him in time. Few more spins and sab0tender will be done with this seed. And I think it's already going to be immediately put into the trash bin immediately after he has finished up with the seed.
I would honestly do the same thing at this point.
I would assume at this point that we can say, yep, there we go. The sword is up in the air, Ganon is down. Get your GGs in the chat for sab0tender finishing off this seed.
Yep, GG's.
Welcome into both of our runners. We have Tso, the winner, and we have sab0tender here as well. GG's to both of you, and I have to start off this interview process. Okay.